The external has to shift because internally we are shifting. The external is evolving because internally we are evolving. So in the same sense, when we talk about the religions that have been taken, that we've abandoned, that we've let go of, that we said, oh, the hell with that. And I understand it because again, when we talk about it from this particular aspect that we're in now, it's more of a dogma, it's more of a control, it's more of a slavery thing, slavery mentality. But again, as I said before, when we talk about generic, anything generic began with an original state. So even when we're talking about religion, it began in a more truer spiritual state. It is now generic, but even within the generic aspect of religion, there's still this true spirituality because it evolved, because it came from the original spiritual state. So again, we have to understand that where we are now, we are truly gathering all of our children and bringing them back home because that's the time that we're in. If we are truly in the state, and this is the thing I challenge people about, if we're truly talking about the goddess energy, if we're talking about the mama energy, mama ain't abandoning her children.
That's right.
Mama going to get her children
Right.
and bringing them back home. So I'm not saying that we got to go off and be religious and none of that stuff like that. I'm talking about that. I'm just simply saying from the aspect of bringing it back into the aspect where it is aligned spiritually. Because again, even though religion in the state that most of it is in now is more of a generic form, it still has the life force energy within it. So that's what we are. That's what we're doing right now. And all that we see and all that we look at externally, we exist in all realms. We exist in all of it. Again, going back to the divine intelligence of nature. Going back to what I say all the time, that nature is the great ancestor. We exist within it, it exists within us. When you look at the trees, you're looking at yourself. You're seeing an extension of yourself. That's why when you breathe out, they take in the oxygen. And when the trees breathe out, we take in the oxygen. Because we are connected, we are one. That's why when you drink water, it replenishes you. It's not just because of the elements of water that replenishes you, it's because you are water itself. That's why it replenishes you. When you take herbs for healing, the herbs don't heal you just because it has healing properties. It is because it literally already is within you. The herbs is just simply reconnecting. It's a realignment. That's all it's doing. It's like the plug in the socket. It's recharging. That's what the herbs are doing. When we look at the flowers lift us up. They raise our vibrations because the beauty and the love that is within flowers already exists within us. When we talking about the crystals, it exists within us. That's why again, nature is truly our ancestors because it truly is us and we are it. Every time we look out here, every time you look at the birds, every time you look at the insect, every time you look at the fish, you are literally looking at yourself. You're seeing your projection. So again, in all that we are, and all that we see, you only see yourself. Even in the sense when we're talking about other humans, they are only your projection. Even the ones who you can't stand.
That's true.
Even the ones who get on your nerves.
There you go.
They are your projection. And the reason why they're your projection is because you have identified something within them that gets on your goddamn
in yourself.
You only can see yourself. Because again, I mean, there's plenty of people who walk by you on a daily basis that you don't pay no attention to.
That's right.
They pass by, you see them or something. But the minute you see that one person, oh, I can't. Something about them I don't like.
Yep.
But what is the projection?
Right.
What's that projection going on within you?
Right.
That you identifying with. And of course, in the same aspect, we're talking about love, somebody that you love. It's a projection. They're only projecting back to you what's already going on within you. It's a reflection. So, in the same sense, when we're talking about negative energy, the purpose of negative energy is to assist us. Everything is into a system. Everything. No matter how we label it, no matter what we call it, no matter what we identify it as, everything is into a system. So when we talk about negative energy, it is only here to assist us. Within negative energy, there is love. That's the power of it. Love is in everything. That's why love is all encompassing. When we talk about love, of course, most of the time we see it from the beautiful, wonderful, oh, it feels good and
Right.
wonderful. But love is all encompassing. That's why negative energy is also loving too. Because negative energy within when you are within the space of negative energy, whether it be anger, sadness, depression, bitterness, whatever else might be going on. Love is there, and that's the reason why I know love is there is because you rise up out of it.
Yep.
If love was not in the space of negative energy, you could not rise up out of it.
That's right.
So that's why love is all encompassing. The purpose of negative energy is to simply identify within you certain things that you need healing. It's parts of you that need healing. It's also in the same sense when we talk about karma. Karma has nothing to do with the sin stuff that everybody wants to talk about.
Right.
It's like we have abandoned religion and created another form of religion. We
Yeah.
abandoned the aspect of sin in the religious aspect, but then because we're spiritual now, we have to still identify with some religious concept. So let's say karma is sin.
For us to be punished.
For us to be punished.
Yep.
Ain't no punishment. The beautiful thing about it is, the deeper thing about it is that there is no right or wrong choices. Because in every choice you make, you always gonna receive what you need to receive.
Right.
So within karma, all karma is just simply the things that you have chosen to not deal with in your life. Going back to what we was talking about with the abandoned children,
Mm-hmm.
that's the karma. It's not you did something wrong, so something bad is coming to you.
Right.
The harvest.
It's not. It's the heart. Right. Right.
Right.
It's not. You did something good, so something good is gonna
That's
come back
right.
to you.
That's right.
It's just simply the things that you have yet to deal with, the things that you have yet to heal within yourself. That's why they keep coming back. It's in the it's going back to another movie reference. That's what we're talking about in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Agent Smith was Neo's karma.
Yes.
Agent Smith was
Yes.
Neo's
Kicking
karma.
him in that ass.
Kicking his ass in every movie until he was able to truly deal with them and
That's
stop
right.
running away.
And accept.
Think about it in the third Matrix. This is what I talk
Do
about in
his
the third
own work.
Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and watch Matrix Revolution, which also is Matrix Revelations. The entire movie was talking about love. From the beginning to the end. It was about love. If you remember in the train opening, one of the first things that they were talking about, Neo and the man who was bringing his family, they were talking about love. They were talking about love.
There you go. Love you.
In the same sense, or excuse me, and it wasn't until Neo chose to truly fight or face Agent Smith
Himself.
and truly, which was himself,
Mm-hmm.
because again, remember in the same movie when Neo went to go see the Oracle for the last time, he said, "Who is?" He said, "Who is Smith?" She said, "He is you. He is your negative self." So it wasn't until he chose to face himself, to face his karma. It wasn't until he was free. It wasn't until the energy was raised. So that is what we talk about when we're talking about karma. We're talking about simply facing yourself.
There you
We're not
go.
talking about this good and bad, right and wrong, sin stuff. That's that religious bullshit.
That's right.
That's the thing that we continue to be programmed with religion. But when we talk about karma, we talk about facing yourself. Another great movie to see in reference to this is a movie called The One starring Jet Li. Came out around 2001 or 2002. Jet Li, his character, I don't remember the name of his character, but he was in a prison on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
On the moon,
Yep.
which is the moon, which represents what? The internal self, the emotional self.
Feminine.
He was locked in a prison on the moon, broke out of the moon prison, and went to all these other dimensions to face himself, to kill himself in these other dimensions. Then he came down to the last of himself, which was interestingly enough here on Earth, and to face himself. And once he was able to face himself here on Earth, it came down to the last two. that's when you became the one. In the same sense, when you face yourself, when you conquer yourself, when you conquer those aspects of yourself, the anger, the bitterness, the hatred, the jealousy, all those particular energies, that's when you ascend into the one. That's why Neo was the one. That's why you are the one. You are the savior. That's what we're talking about. And as a matter of fact, the whole purpose of us being here on Earth is to ground you.
Yes.
That's why I say, that's why when you on this Earth, when we were in this space and time, and you see people go around doing mass murdering, killings, and molestations and all these different things. You say, how the hell can this person do that? How do you have it within you to do those things? How do you have it within you to go around killing people, less than a child, and all these different things? That's because we have to understand that not everybody is of the same family nature.
Right.
That's what the movie, going back to another movie reference, that's what Men in Black is talking about.
Right.
There's different entities within this earth realm.
And different purposes
And
and
different
different
purposes.
actions. Yeah.
That's why somebody can do something you can't understand. That's why another person, someone you connect with, feels like your family. Because
Right.
because this earth realm is a grounding space.
Mhm.
That's why we came. That's why we chose to come here to be grounded. All of us, we all didn't come from the same place. Some people came from another realm, another frequency, another dimension. All of us who feel that same connection, we possibly are all in the same family. But we all chose to come here to again be grounded yet again. That's why we can recognize each other now. What I call it now, we simply reunite.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're reuniting again. Again, we're not remembering. I mean, we're not awakening. We are reawakening.
Right.
So in the same sense, we're simply reuniting with one another in this earth realm, remembering who we are, remembering myself, and therefore I can remember who you are.
Mhm.
I remember myself, therefore I can remember who you are in this earth realm. The key in understanding while we're in this space and time is that we are to understand that we are not on a destination. We are on a journey. The journey is continuous.